All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got another chart talk coming at you. Little midday report. Ben, it's killing me while I'm shorting the shit out of this market. It's 11:44 here out West Coast. What is that? 2:44 out by you.
Yeah.
Hour 16 minutes left in the market. Without further ado, let's get right into the market outlook. Let me get a try with this share. All right, so we've seen the SPY kind of face ripping short seller rally these past few weeks. This past week and change, I'd say. We've been in this range bound market the past few months. This was the Silicon Valley banking crisis right here. It started right here, this 404. This was the rest of that week. And then we came in Monday morning and that formed an interim bottom. We've actually seen that kind of, the hysteria bottom formed more often than not in this market. And if you remember, it's like whenever that was, the onset of the Russian war was like the biggest bounce the market's seen, whatever. So that's what we're dealing with right now. Now it's like the SPY's a little overbought. SPY's kind of at the top end of the range here. And what I usually use as my gauge for overbought and oversold is the 8-day simple moving average. And if you look, it's up here in this 402.50, 403 range. SPY's up at 408. If you watch how price reacts to the 8-day simple moving average over time, it's generally like a reversion to the mean, which we usually see that over time. So that was kind of my thesis getting short up here today, but I covered everything. I think we got a range bound market for a little bit. There's going to be money to be made on the short side, money to be made on the long side. I don't have any grand calls about, should we break this lower? Do we have new lows? Do we have new highs? Yeah, I think we're just range bound for a bit. Every time we get to the top end of the range, we're seeing, new bull market. Every time we get to the bottom end of the range, we're seeing SPY should be down to 300. I think if we embrace the chop and embrace the range bound trading, that's probably our best bet going forward. So that's really what I'm thinking. We're seeing rates come in still. The 10 years dumping. That's great for the market. Hopefully we see this, this 3.4% level just kind of die and bring us down to 2.8, 3, whatever it may be. So, that's really it. No clear direction in this market. Nice move from lows to highs there, 380 to 408 right now. But I'm not like betting the farm that the lows are in. I'm not betting the farm the highs are in. Just range bound trading. What are you thinking over there?
Very, very similar. It's funny when you mentioned like the new bull market in the big picture this week, and I had basically the same connotations on where we got in this range. So the upper end, extreme greed, everything is perfect again. It's a new bull market, like as you were saying, and that's the time to take profits. And then as we come into support in this range bound market, like when Jim Cramer says this new bear market, it's time to buy. So we're getting up, up to this resistance as you mentioned. And this is the time to be a little bit more cautious, even against scanning. The last couple of days, I've been looking at the Dow 30, S&P, NASDAQ 100, and going through 500, 600, 700 charts, and it's very slim pickings. There's not that much out there. I'll go through a couple quick trades that I have.
Yeah, I have two very interesting stats for you.
Mm-hmm.
While we're here talking about slim pickings, is that in the last 90 days, Tesla and Nvidia accounted for 40% of NASDAQ's gains, just those two stocks. 65% were like the big seven, which is, Apple, Amazon, Google, all those guys. So we're seeing very, very thin leadership. Now that doesn't give really great information about our market, because remember the FANG stocks, 2017, 2018, 2019, they pretty much led the market higher. They led us to these like 20% years back to back, and it was kind of slim pickings there too. So, a lot of people want to say things like, oh, we're seeing thin leadership. Once that goes away, then the market's going to crumble. That's not necessarily true. We could see these guys hold the market up for God knows how long, because we saw it happen before for years and years. So I just thought it was interesting how the gains were, very muted to a few stocks here. And that NVIDIA chart's insane.
It's nuts. Yeah, one of the members today, I think, I look at the chat, was looking to rebalance some M1 from his M1 position of NVIDIA.
Oh, Tyler, yeah. What up, Tyler?
Yeah. Again, amazing. This is like a perfect example, even for a lot of the names that I'm buying like long term that I'll rebalance. It's like it's this same area of the chart. A lot of the names the Babas, the Amazons that are still kind of down here broadly on their daily chart. Up here is exactly the areas of when you want to rebalance, because you're just taking profits when it looks, this looks, couldn't look more perfect. And it's so smart that he's, taking profits in this amazing run up. It's just funny that like Nvidia's killing it, where like all the other ones in the space are just like non-existent. Like Micron's like coming number 2 in the space and just.
Well, you know why, right?
You can
Nvidia is the AI play. They've invested so much into AI that they've separated themselves from the rest of the semis. They're like the artificial intelligence trade now. That's what that is.
And as you mentioned, this AI today,
Dead.
probably even smarter that he's taking some profits in it. But again, a couple little quick trades. Again, I'm not the biggest Tesla, trader. I've probably traded Tesla like twice in my life, but saw this little flag in it last week. Again, it closed amazing on Friday, but then we had that. It was like a Dogecoin lawsuit with Elon Musk, and stock kind of just gapped down. Yesterday, I got out break even. I know June made a nice pretty penny today shorting it. So he was shorting like 206.
He's the Tesla whisperer. If you ever want to know what's going on with Tesla, talk to him. He knows every single tick of Tesla. His executions are very impressive.
Yeah. So Heaven was in Tesla long as well on Friday, but he took profits into the close. I stuck with it because it's closed bullish engulfing. It's just funny that like I broke even in it. Heaven made money long, and then June made money short in the same name within the same.
Well, and then here's why is it's because the market changes so much day to day. The guys who treated it as a short-term trade both made money, and you kind of held on to it and did. Not saying you're wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like I've been seeing that a lot in my trading. If I'm holding on to stuff too long, it's just the P&L just comes right back. There aren't many home runs at this point in the market.
Yeah. Only other ones, again, I got in this CHKP on Friday, again, closed right at the trigger at 130. And had a nice little gap today. Again, didn't trade the best. I have a low day stop. Again, if I get like a little more of a push into the close today, I'll probably just take this thing off, as it's pretty much just kind of retesting this, kind of gap fill area. So like you said, just kind of like just taking the little singles and doubles. This is like a bunt. It's like, 1 or 2%. This SNPS, was a decent little trade. Again, through this 380, again, traded on Friday, right into the retest. We kind of talked about, or I was talking about in the big picture, where if it does retest, then reverse, I'll take some profit. So pretty much going to be out of this thing and probably another $1 or 2 move lower. And then I got ticked this KHC, some Heinz ketchup, again, kind of going along with their thesis of focusing on more of those consumer staple names, but it's just failing right now. So I'll be stopped out if it breaks under 38, which it looks like it will happen at some point. So nothing really too crazy from a trading standpoint. Broke even in Tesla, lost. Will more likely if I lose 1.5% in this Heinz ketchup when it fixed or 38, and made a little. Should make a little bit in CHKP. Made a couple percent in this SNPS. So just some little singles and doubles, nothing too crazy on my end. And again, for top ideas, it's I think it's just being a little more defensive in the short term, just given how weak a lot of these sectors have been. Like you mentioned, this like flip-flop action where Friday everything looked amazing, and then today it's like everything looks really crappy. This small caps through 180 looks amazing in time, but again, just in this little range here looks pretty crappy in the short term. So you're just seeing a lot of that like very strong Friday action is getting negated, and I think just having more cash in on the active accounts, being more patient seems to be the move. What about you, Shake? You mentioned you were doing something in what was the name you were covering in? Was it?
So about AMD, I was short this AMD today. Let me share my screen. I'll show you what I was. All right. So I was talking before about the 8-day simple moving average. That's my like gauge of overbought and oversold. We looked at this Nvidia. This whole way up, it's virtually ridden it. It's pretty healthy. It hasn't been able to hold a move below the 8-day simple moving average, and we love the trade when the 8-day and the 21-day they cross over and it leads to a pullback. This chart, it's very far away from that, but Nvidia, AMD, we see it beginning to fail this 8-day simple moving average. And I was thinking this morning it's a big tell. All right, so all right, we got the AMD daily up here, and we see, so if it wanted to remain strong, right, it would have taken yesterday's pivot and pushed higher, right? That would have been a buying opportunity if it wanted to keep the status quo of being in this hyper uptrend. When it made a new high here and it couldn't push forward, that was the tell I wanted to see out of the market today. we've seen semiconductors mostly lead this market, AMD and Nvidia, as we're talking about. So then it came through, and then when it reversed and made a new low, that's when I began to get short. Maybe I could have gotten earlier, whatever. So then, it's kind of chopping around. I use that these weak bounces as an opportunity to get very short, and I kind of had to go up on the trade because we're filming this stupid chart talk right now. So, so this thing's gonna close today at 93. I'm gonna break my keyboard, and that's it. We'll keep moving. No, but I think there's a lot of information in, if you look, this is the little downtrend from highs. If it wanted to stick with that status quo, it would have broken higher, would have made a move up to 99 theoretically today. Because it didn't, I think this run in AMD may be done, and just a short-term pullback, just to just down to this, maybe 93 level or whatever. I saw a tight risk opportunity to get involved. So I mean that's all I'm really looking for right now. Cute little trades, long or short, taking both, but no real big macro ideas because I think the market's just going to chop back and forth, and the more we can get headlines out of the mix, the better off we're going to be. Just focus on the price action. That's like the one thing I'm trying to talk about internally. Just focus on price action. I don't want to hear about Trump being arrested and all this other BS that is just like distracting from price action. Oh, here you go, AMD breaking lows, Bennett. But like doing that stuff is just takes away from P&L because you get this idea in your head of what has to happen and what has to be, and that's not how you make money trading. It's focusing on signals, focusing on price action, focusing on support and resistance levels, and seeing signals, being so locked into the market that, for example, like I didn't execute this AMD anything special today, but me noticing, like, if I'm not in tune with the market, I would have just bought that 97, that new high, being like, oh, well, AMD is ticking higher, blah, blah, blah. So I think, oh God, I'm going to kill you, Bennett.
I mean, I didn't tell you to cover the short. But yeah, I'm really, I like, if you see my eyes looking, I'm really just watching the candle.
It's going down. I had 3,000 shares every 10 cents, $300.
I'm very close to this video.
But all right, so what I was saying is it's more about, playing day-to-day price action, recognizing little things, like little nuances like this in AMD, because we're not seeing. Now, don't get me wrong, and this is towards the end of this bull run, or not, who knows what's going to happen with it. But that's after SPY makes this move. If you bought this 395, whatever, you're just swinging long to the upside like that. That's looking good. But now that we're at the top end of the range, you got to try to fight for the singles and doubles more. So, that's really all I got.
Yeah, I mean,
getting depressed watching this market sell up. What's the Qs up? New lows on the Qs, huh? Oh. I mean, that's really it. I'm focused on the price action. SPY's got a bearish engulfing day if we close here. So the likelihood of a pullback at least to the 8-day right here, 402.90. That's looking very likely. So, we'll see what we're up against. You got to take things day by day, week by week, and try to not over focus on the news cycles. That's my recommendation.
I could not agree more. I think it's crazy that the whole regional bank thing just kind of like disappeared. That whole, like, everyone's, like when we were in Tahoe, everyone was freaking out. Not in the group, I think just like broadly. I was getting all the texts of like, should I have all my money out of the bank and stuff like that? And that story just completely disappeared, or at least the concerns of it have gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll hear more about it in the coming days. If we look historically at it, like there's like Beverly Hills Bank, for example. They're offering out of nowhere. They just got Apollo Management, just gave them like 2 or 3 billion just for like injections, and now they're offering a 5.5% high yield savings account, which sounds great. But Credit Suisse was offering an 8%, and then they got taken under like 2 days later. So I don't think we're hitting the end of it. But I also timing these things is like is like impossible to me. To me, that's like not where my forte is. So I think we'll hear more about it. Then we'll hear more about it. That'll cause the next sell-off to the bottom end of the range. Then we'll forget about it at the bottom end of the range. Get bought up. People will be screaming, new bull market, because we're at SPY 410. Sell off. We're going to be in this range for the next 4 months.
We're going to have to get one of those like little slinkies and just like put it back. I think the main point with what you just mentioned about those regional banks is to avoid chasing yield. And I think that's not really been an issue lately because we haven't really seen higher interest rates, but now it's being a little more prevalent with banks actually offering interest on savings accounts, where just chasing the highest one is the one that's kind of gonna get you, or can get you in trouble. And you see that just with individual stocks when people try to chase the high dividend yielding stocks, and they tend to be not the best.
Yeah, I have some money sitting in a money market, sitting in the Goldman one, the Marcus. It's only like 3.3% or so. I could get a higher yield, but my money is much more safe at Goldman than the Beverly Hills Bank. So.
Yeah, 100%. All right, man, I think we wrapped it up, and I guess we're good. You can get back to watching AMD fall off a cliff.
Great. 95.65 now.
All right,
See ya,
guys.
$92. All right, guys, wrap it up. We'll catch you guys next week.
All right.